We have Dr. Wayengira Misaki, who is a genetics expert.
Inside our bodies, we have cells. In those cells, there is a material for inheritance that we call DNA. But in this context, from what you're describing, clearly this family has a genetic form of blindness. And the pattern of inheritance is certainly dominant because we are seeing the blindness existing across the different generations, from the parents or the grandparents into the parents and then now the children. When someone is born with something, it could be because it's coming from the genetic side, or it could be because of other things, traumas that the child has been exposed to while in the uterus. For example, we have infections that we call the torches. They can lead to several anomalies, toxoplasmosis, syphilis. All these could potentially lead to blindness, could potentially lead to loss of hearing.
Is there one point in time that that family will see a child born within the family with sight?
In this scenario, usually you have a 50 by 50 chance when you have a dominant trait at play, that for every event of fertilization, there is a chance. In terms of what we are seeing play out here, there are a series of things that you would want to ask yourself. Who are these fathers, for example, for this girl? Are they cousins, close relatives? Is there a possibility that you are looking at inbreeding? And for us, when a cousin or two people who are related get to bond or have a child, this relationship, we call it a consanguineous relationship, in the sense that it is more or less inbreeding, and it increases the chance of any defect that has been running in the DNA to be manifested, because then it just simply amplifies. There are, of course, other types of genetic blindness which run in a recessive pattern, which do not show up in every generation. But for this particular family, there is no chance that there will be a recession. There is a chance that there could come one child who is not blind, or two or three. But in every generation, you would still have children with blindness because this trait is dominant.
What else do we know from science in terms of maybe a remedy?
There is a lot of research which has led to the development of gene therapies for treating this type of blindness. So probably we need to study this family more, try to understand what lesion exactly is happening, and then explore strategies of how to help them. These are more or less what we call designer medicines. You've probably heard about gene therapy for sickle cell anemia now. Quite very expensive because it is designed in a tailored manner, costing between $2 million to $3 million apparently for every treatment. The same scenario would happen for this family. Would have to go in, do genetic tests on them, understand what mutation in what gene is leading to this blindness, and then we explore whether or not this can be corrected.
Through the pupil, this round part, if you can see the pupil, and it comes through the lens, which is supposed to be also clear. Let me put the lens aside. And these images are supposed to go through right through there, and they are focused on the retina. The retina is this yellow part that has blood vessels. So if anything goes wrong amongst those cells or in the nerve, you'll not be able to interpret images and you'll be blind. So most likely in this family, they've been affected by what we call hereditary retinal diseases. And these could affect the retina or the optic nerve. So you have a gene that is affecting your mitochondria function, it can also affect the retina. Then there are those that are linked to the sex linked, either predominant in males or predominant in females. So some of those are the main issues. But what happens is that the gene is affected. And when you have a defective gene, those cells do not develop normally. Yeah. With gene therapy, if you introduce gene therapy, you're able to modify the cells and they're able to reproduce and have function. But this requires them to go for genetic typing, where they take off the samples and relate it to the exact gene that is faulty, and then the specific gene therapy is initiated. That is for retinal diseases. Yeah. But optic nerve diseases are a bit difficult. There is no therapy that has been discovered for optic nerve diseases.
That's all we had. My name is Walter Mwesije. Good evening.